back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys these two pieces that I'm making for a client. So I figured I could just come in here and make a quick video so you guys could see how to make this. So this is basically the first layer of this skirt. Guys, I already have a detailed tutorial on how to make a tiered dress on my channel, so I'm going to link that also. And this is a two-piece. It's going to have a crop top that ties in front, so it's like a gypsy skirt, but this has a three layers. So the total length of her skirt will be 43. The first part is like a pencil dress, but instead of pencil it's like a straight skirt, right? So the total length of this skirt is going to be 43. So I'm going to use 2 inches for the band. So guys, for tiered skirts, what you normally do is to split the skirt how you want it to be. So I already know that the band of my skirt is going to be 2 inches. The first part of the skirt, which is the part that looks like a pencil dress, but it's actually a straight a pencil skirt part, but it's actually a straight skirt. The one that comes after the band is going to be 19 inches. That's above her knee. And then the next tiered part of it is 14 inches, and then the next layer is 9. You see, I've split this 44 into this whole. If you calculate this measurement, 2, 19, 14, and 9, it's going to give me 44, which is the total length of my skirt. So now the next thing I have to calculate is just the length that I need to add to it. So to this 19, which is going to be this first part that we're going to cut as the pencil skirt, I'm just going to keep calling it pencil skirt, but just know it's a straight skirt. I'm going to add 1 inch to it. This 1 inch is going to be half an inch of joining the next tiered layer, which is this one, and then the upper part to add the 2 inches of band. So that's going to be extra 1 inch. So that means the length of this is supposed to be 20 inches, right? And then to this one here, which is the second tier, you're going to also add 1 inch. So the length of this is going to be 15. And then to the last bottom tier, which is going to be the ruffled part at the end, this one is also a ruffled part. You're going to add 1.5 to this, because you need 1 inch of folding the edge of the ruffle and half an inch of joining this to this. So that's going to be 10.5, right? Sorry, 10.5. So like I said, I'm going to link the detailed tutorial on how to cut a tiered skirt or dress that I have in my channel that explains everything better. But this is just like the basic concept of the whole thing. So first thing I'm going to do now is I folded the fabric into 2, which is just her hip measurement plus extra, like let's say 2 inches or so. Her hip is 46. I'm going to go up to the shoulder, sorry, the waist part of this, and then I'm going to divide her waist divided by 4. So her waist is 37 divided by 4 is going to be 9.25. I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and then add 2 inches because I'm going to be darting it. If you want, you don't have to dart yours. If you want, you can just go ahead and just add your band. And then after that, you're going to skip about 2 inches here and then mark her waist to her hip. So her waist to hip is going to be about 10 inches down. Her own is actually 11. So I'm going to take away that 2 inches still and mark 11 inches here. I just hope my chalk is visible for you guys. And then on this line, you're going to go ahead and insert the waist measurement divided by, sorry, the hip measurement divided by 4, which her hip measurement is going to be about 11.75. So let's just call it 12, right? Because her hip is 47 or so. So just call it 12. And then I'm going to connect from here. I'm going to connect from this point now to the waist to this point here. Guys, like I said, if you want, you can add a dart. But this person's waist and hip measurements are almost the same. So I don't see any need of adding the darts. Her waist and her hip, the difference is not so much. So I'm just going to connect it this way. But if you want, add 2 inches here so that will serve as your dart, right? 1 inch of darting and 1 inch of side seam, seam allowance. So I'm still going to go in and add my 1 inch of seam allowance here, which I've marked. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just to connect from this end to this end. Remember, normally a straight skirt, you would mark it this way, right? And it will end. A pencil skirt, you will go in 1 inch into the skirt this way. But this one here, I'm trying to make it an A-line form. So I'm going to maybe, instead of A-line, I might just stick to making it straight all the way down. You see? So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this part all the way out to the waist. So guys, now that I've cut out this side, all I have to do is just to split the back open for the zipper. Remember, the back has 1 inch of zipper allowance. Guys, for this skirt, I wouldn't advise you making this fitted. Like, try to add half an inch to your waist. Like, once you divide your hip by 4, add 1 inch to the hip, sorry. so that it can be free, right? You don't want this part too tight. So that's what I've done here. So now I'm going to take this and join the skirt part together, and then I'll bring it back and show you guys how you're going to cut out the tiered layers. So guys, now the next thing I have to do is just to add, you see I've joined the skirt part. So this is the back with the zipper still left open. I just joined the two sides and then the center back, closed it up. So now what we're going to calculate is the next tier that we're going to add. So like I said, one is going to be 15 inches, the other one is going to be 10.5. That is including my seam allowances. So the second layer, all I have to do is just to do times 2 of this here. So all I did is just to calculate this here. So you're going to take your tape and place it this way and calculate whatever you have there. It's probably going to be about your hip measurement, or whatever you have on the hip is what you're going to have here, except if you made yours a little bit A-line. But basically what I have here should be, I have about 48. So what I'm going to do now is, this is what I'm using. So you can do times 2 of this opening, right? The way you have, I have, when I measure this now, I have 24 here. So that means 24, if I go over to the back, that's 24 times 2, that's the front and the back, is going to give me about 48, right? So if you want, because remember you're trying to calculate the gather that will go around this skirt. So if you want, you can do 48 times 2, or you can do times 2.5, right? Whatever you decide to use. So this is what I'm going to be using. I think mine should be about times 2. Just the whole length of Ankara fabric. The whole length is what I'm doing for this layer. So you see, I just cut out 2 of it. You know the way Ankara comes, this is the edge and this is the edge. I just cut out, but using this as my width this way, you see. So this is what I have here. So I'm going to be using this as the gather for the second layer. So just like how you make your gather, that's how you're going to join this. If you want, you can make your seam to be by the sides, right? And then after that, we have the third layer, which for me, I said was going to be 10.5. That's including my seam allowance again. But this time around, I'm doing times 3 of this other one. Remember, for this one to calculate the width, for this one to calculate the width, you use times 2 of this. And now to calculate the width for this third layer now, this one here, I'm going to use the opening of this one times 2 or times 3.5. Sorry, times 2 or times 2.5. It depends on you, what you want to work with. So, like I said, I have about, because your fabric cannot cut the opening of this, you need to like use a lot of fabric and then join them together. You see, I have about 3 pieces of fabric here that I'm going to be joining together. So let me open it so you guys will see what it looks like. So you see, there's about 3 of them here. You see, so I'm going to use this, join it together, and then use it round the opening of the second layer. So that's basically, guys, I know I might be rambling here, but I've already made a video on this and it's on my channel. So I'm going to try to link it so that you guys can see a detailed tutorial for even a beginner. So I'm going to go ahead now and couple these things together and bring it back so you guys would see. So guys, this is the skirt here. You see, I've joined the pencil part to the first layer of the tier, and then after that I joined this gathered part to the bottom layer. So you see, this each edge you're going to be joining will be straight, and then the one following it will be gathered on it. You see, this edge here is straight, the last layer was gathered on top of it. So you basically keep it this way, and then you put it together on top of it, and then after that, you see this next layer is also straight, but the one coming up on it is the one that has the gather on it. So you see, so once that is done, all I have to do now is just to go ahead and take this band this way, fold it into 2. You see, you're going to fold it into 2. If you want, you can iron in your stay and then fold in the edge. So once you fold in the edge, maybe half an inch or so, it depends on you, the width you're using. You can use about, let's say, 5 inches, so that when you fold it into 2, you have 2.5 here, 2.5 here, and then you tuck in the 0.5 in. So you can have that 2 inches of band we were referring to before. And then you're going to take the band, start from one end of the skirt, and put this in between it. Put the skirt in between it like this. And then you're going to go ahead and join it and sew it all the way around to the other side of the skirt. Once you come in here, you put in your skirt zipper. So I'm going to go ahead now and join mine like that and bring it back so you guys will see. top. So in the meantime, let's just cut the top. So first thing you're going to use here is the length you want your top to be plus 1.5, right? So I want my top to be up to my waist, and my shoulder to waist is at 18. So plus 1.5 is 19.5. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that here, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the width I have here is just my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1. My bust measurement divided by 4 is 10.5 plus 1 is 11.5, but sorry, 11.5, but I'm going to add half an inch here because I want the top to be a little bit loose. I don't want it too tight. So that's going to be 12 in total. So basically your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch of seam allowance and half an inch of ease. That's basically what I'm going to do here. So guys, next thing is just to go ahead and insert your shoulder measurement divided by 2 because this is going to have a sleeve. Mark that. Just draw out your basic bodies. Come down here by 1 inch of shoulder slope, and then come down here and insert your armhole divided by 2, which is 9 for me. Connect it in a straight line. This is the back panel that we are marking here. Give it a curve. Mark my bust measurement divided by 4 plus my 1.5 inch, which is here at the very edge, and then my darting for my waist divided by 4 is 8.5 plus extra 2 inches here, which is 1 inch of darting, 1 inch of seam allowance, and then I'm going to put this down here. I didn't add any ease at the waist because remember the waist is going to have a tie, so even if you add ease you're still going to tie it to help it pull together, so there's no need of adding ease at the waist. So that's basically all I need here. The next thing is just to insert my dart. So I'm going to divide my nipple to nipple by 2, mark it here, and then my dart is going to go up to this point, up to here, that's to my chest line, and then half an inch on both sides and connect it this way. So this is basically going to be my back panel. So with this back panel now, I'm also going to go up here, mark 3 inches of neck width. Just your basic neck width is what I'm using here. Guys, you can always open up your neck a little. You can do 3.5 if you want the neck a little bit wider, but I'm going to stick with the 3 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, don't forget to mark your 1 inch of neck width. So I'm going to mark that here. Come down by 1 inch for the back neckline here, and then I'm also going to take this now and cut my front panel with it. So guys, this is the back panel. I've folded my fabric again into 2 and placed the back panel on it. So just to cut the front, but if you notice here, I have some extension here about just 4 inches or 5 inches. It depends on you. If you want, you can, if you have enough fabric, you can extend it enough for your belt. But I already cut out the belt I'm going to use to extend this because I don't have enough fabric to cut the belt entirely and just make it a continuous fabric. Instead, I'm just going to make a folded fabric like a belt, and then I'm going to, so just like a folded fabric like this, and then I'm going to join it to the edge. But if you want, you can fold your fabric enough, just continue this cut. So guys, now the next thing you're going to do is just to mark the whole outline of the back panel here, and then I'm going to remove it. I'm also going to mark where my dart is supposed to be, and then where the center line is. So this is where the center of this top is supposed to be. So you see the back out, the outline and everything. So what I'm going to do now is from the peak of this neckline, I'm going to connect it to the front here, leaving about, like, let's say 5 inches down here, and then because I still need 1 inch to fold the edge of this, right, the edge of my clothes, and that will leave me with about 4 inches left, and then I'm still going to take away half an inch here for the top. So if you want, you can do, let's say, let me see how much I have here. So guys, this whole thing depends on the width of your belt. So my belts might be about 2.5 inches. So that's why I have about let's say 3 inches here, because I'm still going to fold 1 inch away. 3.5, I'm still going to fold 1 inch away and then fold half here. So I'm still going to be left with about 2 inches for my belt. So all I have to do now, guys, is just to go ahead and cut this out. But before I cut it out, you're also going to go ahead. You see this line that we made for our darting in front? Measure from your shoulder to your nipple. So my shoulder to my nipple is about 12. I'm going to come down 1 inch after that at 13. So my dart in front is going to go all the way from here, and then half an inch on both sides, and then come down here. So 1 inch before your shoulder to your nipple line is where your front dart will be. So that's basically everything. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. And don't forget to also mark when you come to your armhole here, Remember, my armhole was 9 inches, right? Halfway through that is going to be 4.5. I'm going to come in here by half an inch and then connect it this way with a straight line and a curve, just to get that depth for the front armhole, which is always deeper than the back one. So let's go ahead and cut. So when we are done, we are supposed to have one back panel, which is this one, and then 2 front panels, one facing each other this way. So this is going to be our front panel. But for the back, there's something I'll do also, because if I leave the back this way, it's going to drop so much that it's going to meet my pants. If you want yours that way, you can leave it, but I'm going to go up here 1 inch at the center back here, this way, and then blend it into the edge of my cloth this way. This will help my back to shorten a little bit and not go back down and just cover my pant, because remember, your back length is always not shorter than the front, right? So I reduced it a little bit here just to shorten it, and that's basically how you cut it. And then I'm just going to notch it so I know where my dart is. This is where my dart is supposed to be. So this is basically everything. This is the back panel now. So guys, now the next thing I'm going to cut is my sleeve. I want it to be a short sleeve, guys, but if you want a long sleeve, I've gone ahead and joined the top. So this is I just joined the shoulder to the shoulder, use bias of this same fabric to line the whole neckline down to this point, and then I folded the belt I was going to use. Like I said, my belt is about 5 inches of width, so when I fold it, I'll have about 2 inches on each side. So all I have to do now is just to take this and insert it inside here, and then flip this in this way and just put this belt inside of it and close it up. So that's how you can help elongate this. And then once you wear it, so once I put this inside of here and my top is already done, I've gone ahead and put in my dart both in front and at the back. So this is my sleeve here, guys. Like I said, you can make your sleeve, just cut a basic sleeve, put elastic at the end. It depends on the type of sleeve you want. And this is my top here. So guys, this is it here. You see, I've attached the band of the skirt, and then this is the zipper at the back. You see, it has a zipper. Let me turn it around so you guys can see. So if you turn it, you see that it has the zip at the back here. So, and then this is the top here. It's just a crop top that ties in front, just like this. So it's just like a crop top, which the tutorial will also be here, just like this. It's just a crop top that ties in front. It has a rope that goes with the skirt. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.